morning, boys and girls. We are going to have another pre-recorded math video for today because you are doing your map testing. We'll do this for tomorrow as well. So this is a continuation of lesson 4.4, which we were doing on Friday, which is subtracting across zeros. So we're going to do a little bit more of this concept and then put it in action with some word problems. So I need you to take out your math notebook for this. Okay, so the top of your page, this is a new page, even though it's the same lesson as it's a continuation of Friday's lesson. You'll write your name, the date was I'm filming this ahead of time, so I'm trying to think. The 12th for you. And write math lesson 4.4. Okay, so we are going to be putting that lesson from Friday into practice with a few problems, subtracting across zeros. So let's, number one, we'll do together. 2,000 minus 1,482. Let me get a different pencil. Okay, so just like always, we will begin subtracting in the ones place. Now, usually, if we don't have ones, we can regroup from the very next place value. But the problem here is that the tens and hundreds also have zeros, so you cannot borrow from those. So the place to regroup from is the thousands place. So we're going to regroup 1,000 as 10 hundreds. And we have still a zero in the ones place. That's where we need to begin subtracting. So we're going to continue regrouping until we have enough in the ones place to subtract. So we regroup 100 as 10 tens. And now we're going to regroup 110 as 10 ones. Now, for those of you who already are thinking you're just going to sort of shortcut these types of problems and immediately cross them out and put a 9 over it, above it, it's good if you are getting to that confident place, but make sure that in the ones place, we do not have a 9 above this one. It is still 10 because we are not going to regroup for a smaller place value. Now, once we have finished with this, it becomes pretty easy because now all of our top digits are larger than the bottom digits, so we can subtract all the way across. We've already done all of our regrouping, so we can just follow the normal steps. 10 minus 2 equals 8. 9 minus 8 equals 1 in the tens place. 9 minus 4 is 5 in the hundreds place. And 1 minus 1 is 0. We do not put a 0 in the largest place value. So our answer, the difference is 518. Let's do another one, and I would like you to do this one on your own. So you'll pause the video and have time to work it. So 5,006 minus 4,827. Pause the video at this time and work this problem. And join me again when you're done. Okay, at this point you should be finished with number 2. Let's go through the steps all the way across. Now 6 minus 7. We cannot subtract 7 from 6. So where do we regroup from? The thousands place. That is the first place value that you can regroup from. So Our 5 is now a 4 in the thousands place. We regroup to the hundreds, but then we cross that out because we need to regroup to the tens. And we still need to regroup one more time over to the ones place. Now we can subtract. 16 minus 7, 9. 9 minus 2, 7. 9 minus 8, 1. And 4 minus 4 is 0. So our difference is 179. Sorry, that's a little bit messy because I made my line a little below where it should be, but 179 is the difference. Okay, at this point, we are going to put this into practice with some word problems. So let's take a look at one from your textbook. You'll have another one of these to complete in your workbook today for practice as well. It says, Simon scores 4,000 points in a game. Leanne scores 935 fewer points in the game than Simon. Stop for a moment. Think about what's happening. Do we know how many points Leanne scored? No, we just know that it's 935 less than Simon. The question is, how many points does Leanne score? So that's our question. Now, we are going to begin this problem by creating an answer sentence. What are we trying to solve for? If you said the number of points Leanne scored, you are correct. So that is what we are trying to solve. So our answer sentence with a blank for the answer could look something like this. Leanne scored blank points. Period. Leanne scored blank points. We do not know that yet. Okay. Now there are two types of bar models. There is a part whole bar model, which means it is one rectangle split up into two parts. And there is a comparison bar model, where you have two rectangles that you are comparing. So we use a part whole bar model if there is just one item and there's parts of a whole. We use comparison if we're comparing two things or people. Would you say this is a part whole or comparison bar model? If you said comparison, you're right. Simon and Leanne scored two different points. We're comparing them. So we're going to create a part whole bar model. Now, reviewing the story again, it says Simon scores 4,000 points in a game. Leanne scores 935 fewer points. So who scored more points? Simon. 935 fewer means 935 less than Simon. So we're going to make our larger rectangle for Simon. I'm going to put an S next to it for Simon. And an L for Leanne. No, this is a little bit too big, I would say. I'm just going to make it across one line. If you do two, that's okay. I just needed more space up here for the numbers. Now, Leanne scored less points, so I'm going to make her box smaller. Okay, that's the beginning of our bar model. We have Simon's points, Leanne's points. Do we know Simon's points? Let's review the problem. Can you see how many points Simon scored? 4,000. So we're going to make a bracket. It would look about like that. If you have a different type of bracket you use, that's fine. Now, do we know the number of points that Leanne scored? It's not 935. 935 is the difference between Leanne and Simon's. Because Leanne scored 935 fewer points than Simon. So this is actually a question mark. That is what we're trying to solve for. We want to solve for how many points Leanne scored. But we do know this part right here. This is what tells us how many less points Leanne scored than Simon. And what was that number again? 935. Okay, so we know Simon's points. We know the difference between Simon and Leanne's. We can now solve for Leanne's points. We are going to subtract 935 from 4,000 to see how many points Leanne scored. Okay. Now we're going to put into practice what we were just doing above. In this problem, we do not have tens or hundreds to regroup. We do have thousands to regroup so that we're able to subtract from the ones first. Take a moment, actually, and I want you to pause the video and try this on your own. Okay. At this point, you should be finished. So once you have finished your regrouping, it should look like this. Hopefully you have your answer as well. If not, pause the video and work that on your own. Okay. Now in the ones place is a 5. 10 minus 5 equals 5. 9 minus 3 equals 6. 9 minus 9 equals 0. And 3 minus nothing, let's just bring down that 3. Our difference is 3,065. That is how many points Leah scored. I'm going to put that back into our bar model so it looks accurate now because we don't need a question mark anymore. We know that it's 3,065 points. And we're going to write our answer in the answer sentence. Okay, let's do another one. We're going to do number 5 as well. This will be the last one to do together, and then you'll have one to do on your own in your workbook today. A store has 2,000, just a moment, reams of paper and 1,726 notebooks. How many more reams of paper than notebooks does the store have? Let's think through what we're trying to solve for in this problem. Now, what is our final question? How many more reams of paper than notebooks does the store have? So we're comparing paper, reams of paper, and notebooks. We want to know how many more reams of paper there are than notebooks. What do you think would be a good answer sentence? Let's write something like this. The store has blank more, try to remember which one was more, paper, more reams of paper than notebooks. The store has blank more reams of paper than notebooks. So we have two options for our bar model. We can create a comparison bar model like this, one for notebooks, one for paper. Or if we're trying to figure out the whole amount, we would do one part whole bar model. Let's think through what we're trying to solve, though. We're trying to solve for how many more reams of paper there are than notebooks. It is not asking us for how much there is altogether. We're trying to compare these two numbers. So we want to create a comparison bar model. What are the two things that we're comparing? Reams of paper and notebooks. So which one is going to be the larger bar model? Was there more paper or more notebooks? More paper. So let's put a P for paper with a rectangle. Very similar to what we just did up there. And an N for notebooks. Okay. Do we know how much paper the store had? 2,000 reams of paper. By the way, a ream is just like one unit of it all purchased together. So you might see, like a ream of copy paper for a printer. Just means it's all grouped together. So 2,000 reams of paper is how much the store has. Do we know how many notebooks they have? 1,726 notebooks. We're going to label that as well. Now we're trying to solve for how many more reams of paper than notebooks the store sold. Do you know where our bracket goes for what we're trying to solve? It's right here. This is where we're going to see the difference between how many reams of paper there were and how many notebooks. That's a question mark because we don't know the difference yet. I'm moving it over to the left a little bit so there's space for the number later. Now we're trying to solve this small amount, the difference between these two. We're trying to solve for the difference. The difference in subtraction, the difference in math means that it is the answer to our subtraction problem. We're trying to solve for the difference. We're going to subtract 1,726 from 2,000 to find our answer of how many more reams of paper were at the store. Okay. Pause the video, please, and work this problem on your own, and then continue it when you're done. Okay. At this point, you should be finished with this problem. You'll regroup in each place value, leaving you with a 10 in the ones place. Now you can subtract. 10 minus 6 equals 4. 9 minus 2 equals 7. 9 minus 7 equals 2, and 1 minus 1 is 0. So our answer is 274. We're going to plug that in here. Where else do we need to plug it in? The answer sentence, that's right. So the store has 274 more reams of paper than notebooks. Does that look right? Yeah, using estimation, we could say this is about right. If we were to do the last one, this one would end up being a part whole bar model. And we have not done one of those in the class period today, but we will do plenty of part whole bar models where it says 3,005 types of plants are on display at a flower show. 987 of them are orchids. How many types of plants are there? For this one, you would just need one part whole bar model. 3,005 plants are the total number of plants. And just a part of it, 987 of them are orchids, and you would subtract for that one. So let's look at what you're going to do in your workbook today. Looking for lesson 4.4, subtraction across zeros. So you will solve all of these and then using the letters, put them in the correct order at the bottom to find the flavor of jam. On page 67. This is going to be posted in Bright Thinker for you as well. Keep in mind for this as well that some of these do not necessarily have a 0 all the way across, but if the digit on the top is smaller than the digit on the bottom, you still need to regroup to the next place value, which you can regroup from. Okay. Here we have on page 68 a word problem. Now they have not done a bar model, but you do need to do a bar model. In 3rd grade math, we will do bar models for every word problem. I will draw an example for you in this one just so that you have an example on the workbook though. It says that Sarah has 1,000 stickers. Maria has 450 stickers. How many more stickers does Sarah have than Maria? So we know Sarah has 1,000, Maria has 450. We are going to draw a comparison just like we were doing in our notebook today. Sarah has 1,000 stickers. Maria has 450. That's about half. So I'm going to try to make my second bar model about half. And we're trying to solve for the difference here. And they've already done the work on the side. 1,450 1,000 minus 450 equals 550. At the bottom of your page, you're going to do one word problem in bar model with it. It says Pete wants to deliver 4,002 oranges to a retirement home. He has 2,157 oranges. How many oranges does he need? So he wants to deliver this many oranges. He has some already. For this one, we're not comparing, so you'll want just one bar model. And he has some, he still needs more. So those are the 2 parts to your bar model, okay? So that is all for today. You've got pages 67 to 68 in your workbook. And the notes along with me. And tomorrow's lesson will be done similar to this. So Wednesday will be the next time we have a class together that is a normal class. And then Thursday is your test over subtraction. I will talk to you later. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.